This is Bridget Mwanoga bringing you our 7:30 news bulletin, coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center in Area 2, Lilongwe. The top stories. Pope Francis urges Hungarians to open doors for the needy. President Chakwera advocates for contact and dialogue between employers and employees. Street vendors in Lilongwe express concern over City Council's plan to remove them out of the roads. And elsewhere, South Africans evacuated from Sudan stuck in Egypt. We have these and many more. Stay with us. Pope Francis has urged Hungarians to open their doors to others with a prayer for Europe to welcome migrants and the poor and for an end to Russia's war in Ukraine. As he wrapped up a weekend visit, the Holy Father issued the appeal from the banks of the Danube as he celebrated Mass on Budapest Gotha Regio Square with the Hungarian Parliament and Budapest famed chain bridge as a backdrop. He used the visit to call for the continent to find again its spirit of unity and purpose, referencing Budapest bridges across the Danube as symbols of unity and connection. We have a Vatican News report read by Rashida Matandika.
The celebration provided the visual highlight of the Holy Father's 3-day visit that has been dominated by the Vatican's concern for the plight of neighboring Ukraine. Citing local organizers, the Vatican said some 50,000 people attended the Mass, more than 30,000 of them in the square on a brilliantly sunny spring morning. Among them were President Katalin Novak and Hungary's right-wing populist Prime Minister Viktor Orban, whose lukewarm support for Ukraine has rankled fellow European Union members. Pope Francis expressed appreciation for Hungary's recent welcome of the Ukrainian refugees, but he challenged Orban's hardline anti-immigration policies, which in 2015 to 2016 included building a razor wire fence on the border with Serbia to stop people from entering. Upon arrival, the Pope urged Hungary and Europe as a whole to welcome those that are fleeing war, poverty, and climate change, calling for safe and legal migration corridors. In a final prayer at the end of the Mass, Pope Francis prayed for peace in Ukraine and a future of hope, not war, a future full of cradles, not tombs, a world of brothers and sisters, not wars. The 86-year-old pontiff has tried to forge a diplomatic balancing act in his plea to end Russia's war, expressing solidarity with Ukrainians while keeping the door open to dialogue in Moscow.
President of the Episcopal Conference of Malawi, ECM, Archbishop George Desmond Tambala, has dared members of parliament against voting for some laws that directly pose negative impact on human rights. Speaking at this year's national celebrations for the Vocation Sunday at Our Lady of Victory, Madisi Parish in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe, Archbishop Tambala said legislators should be careful with the laws they pass in Parliament, as most of them are destructive to humanity. He then urged the young people to be the change that the country needs by advocating for a mindset change through different vocations that they may choose to create a better Malawi. Bernard Manza was there and he gives an insight.
Over 5,000 young people from all parishes in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe participated at this year's National Vocation Sunday celebrations at Our Lady of Victory Madis Parish indoor to learn more about what it takes to answer to God's call. In his homily, Archbishop George Desmond Tambala noted that both shepherds, as highlighted in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 1 to 10, had interest in the sheep but differed on goals. He said at the present time, it is important to disregard leaders with bad teachings who destroy people's values, adding that such bad shepherds may use parliament, education system, but above all, they may use the social media to lead astray, especially the youth, and that they should be watchful.
We do not have enough priests, we do not have enough leaders, and if we talk of families, we need urgently good families, those at least those who are prepared for the family. We need them now.
On his part, National Director of the Pontifical Mission Societies, PMS, Reverend Father Vincent Mwakawa, said the large number of youths who participated as well as congregations that came to sensitize the youth has proved the success of the event this year compared to the previous years. Father Mwakawa said they will ensure that they have enough time to prepare for such occasions in order to see more successful events.
Looking at the cry of young people at this celebration, they have asked us that we should periodically hold these functions. So the Archdiocese of Lilongwe, with the guidance of National Office, is planning to have the Dinner Vocation Sunday celebration. That is the follow-up. So the young people who have been trained here, have been given messages, that participated, will also follow them in the dinner, so that some of the youth who do not come, they have to be followed and they have to be reached, so that they can also understand, what the church is asking them about choosing their vocations.
Chisomo Nkoma, who is the Archdiocesan Youth Chairperson, said they are ready to keep on learning more about the vocations for them to make good decisions.
When we receive that message, it's up to us to go and also teach other people. Because as ambassadors, we want to go everywhere in the world to teach so that everyone and everybody can also know about the vocation, can also know about the Jesus calling. This
year's Vocation Sunday has been celebrated another theme, Hearts on Fire, Feet on the Move, taken from the Gospel of Luke chapter 24, verse 13 to 35. This encourages the youth that whatever vocation God calls them to, they should set out with burning hearts, eyes open, and feet in motion to make other hearts burn with the word of God and their eyes open to Jesus through the Eucharist. For Luntha News, I am Bernard Mansa.
Still on Vocations Sunday celebrations, families in the Diocese of Mangochi have been urged to promote vocations among their children by using modeling theory. Father Christopher Jatsogola, who is the spiritual director at St. Paul's Minor Seminary, said this at St. Louis Montfort Balaka Parish on 30th April 2023 when he led Christians celebrate Vocation Sunday Mass. Father Jatsogola said using the modeling theory, parents can inspire children to choose their vocations. Andrew Nandolo compiled a report being read by Jean Ngalande Benadi.
Fourth Sunday after Easter, which is also called Sunday of the Good Shepherd, was said to be vocations, in which, among others, the Church prays for bishops, priests, and the youth to choose their vocations. Speaking to thousands of Christians, Father Jatogola said parents should be in the forefront, encouraging their children to choose their vocations. He said by using modeling theory, parents can inspire children to join different church groups, which will lead to priesthood, sisterhood, or even becoming bishops. Father Jatogola said seminary and convents train the youths not only to become priests or sisters, but also for them to become good citizens wherever they go. On this, he said the seminary does not excommunicate the youths as other parents think, but rather assist them to choose the right vocations.
Modern theory is very good for our youth. Our children have so many aspirations, and then one of it is to serve God. So for them to get there, they need this special encouragement from their parents, their priests, and even leadership of the church. Going to the seminary is not an automatic that one may make it. It is a journey where these boys are day to day answering to the call. It is not a day answer, yes, and you are finally done. Every day we are responding to the same call. Every day we are responding. And when we realize that maybe this is not the vocation of this boy will help him now to answer the right call. Maybe the good mentality that we may have is, when a person is excluded from the seminary, we should understand that the formators have just said, priesthood may not be your vocation, but God may be calling you in other vocations in the church. It's not that you are useless in the church, but you can still be better in other vocations of the church.
Speaking to Luntha Television on behalf of the youth, George Bobe Jr., who was dressed like a bishop, encouraged parents to send their children to church groups for them to answer God's calling. He said Father Chasogola's speech has added another gear in his stewardship as altar boy.
When I grow up, I want to be the priest. The word that priests have saying today, the greatest words that I love it and I like it. Join a good company to know the word of God. And do not smoke, do not drink alcohol, do not do bad things, but know the word of God and follow the word of God.
Diocese of Mangochi has 64 priests who are not enough to save more than 300,000 Christians. This year's Vocation Sunday theme was Hearts on Fire, Feet on the Move. Luke 24 verses 13 to 35. The main event of this year's Vocation Sunday took place at Our Lady of the Victory, Madis Parish in Dowa, Lilongwe Archdiocese.
The state president, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, has called on workers in the country to consider contact and dialogue whenever there are concerns between them and their employers. Speaking at this year's International Labour Day commemoration at the Masinta Ground in Lilongwe, Chakwera hinted that workers remain an integral component in the implementation of short, medium, and long-term projections informed by the Malawi 2063 vision, hence the need to allow progress in production across all sectors. This was in reaction to the Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, who at the start of the event presented some of the concern that the workers face some challenges whenever they want to put tools down in times of misunderstandings. Brennan Mwanza has a full story.
The Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, MCTU, presented at the start of the event that most of the times workers face challenges when they want to boycott work due to concerns that they want to be addressed, and asked the state president to help in creating a conducive environment for workers to do strikes that they feel are key to bring change. But President Lazarus Chakwera, in his speech, differed on the call, saying the only way to end any misunderstanding is through dialogue and not boycotting work, adding that Malawi already needs much attention in as far as work is concerned to recover from the damage caused by the natural disasters. On this, President Chakwera said Malawi currently needs about 700 billion kwacha to recover from the devastation caused by the tropical cyclone Freddy, which needs collective efforts by all stakeholders for this to be achieved. On his part, President of the Malawi Congress of Trade Unions, MCTU, Charles Kumchenga, strongly called on the state president to bail out workers who are receiving little money by, among other things, raising the minimum wage from the current 50,000 kwacha to 100,000 kwacha per month in order to meet the monthly life demands. Kumchenga also requested government to consider extending the tax-free band from 100,000 kwacha to 150,000 kwacha per month, so that those who get less than 150,000 kwacha may utilize the income for a bit more days before the next salary. Meanwhile, Minister of Labour Agnes Nyalonje has revealed that the ministry will intensify labour safety inspection in all companies to ensure that workers' rights are being respected, adding that safe working places are paramount to increase production for the growth of the country. The commemoration started with a parade from Lilongwe Town Hall to Masinta CSAP ground, and workers carried placards displaying their different concerns. The International Labour's Day is observed on 1st May every year across the globe to raise awareness, educate people about the importance of respecting workers' rights. For Luntha News, I am Brennan Mwanza.
Meanwhile, the Ilovo Sugar Malawi has been named the Employer of the Year 2022 2023 for employing more people and ensuring workers' rights, among others. The company has been awarded 6 accolades in areas such as largest employer, youth and skills development, corporate social responsibility, and inclusive business, among others. Moses Njinga, who is the company's human resource manager, said that they feel honored to have received the awards that will motivate them to do more in as far as employment and service deliveries are concerned. Bernard Mwanza caught up with Njinga.
We're excited actually to be number 1 employer in Malawi. So in Irovo, we actually value our employees. We celebrate them, we make sure that they are well taken care of. Our production, the sugar that we produce on the fish. So we create around the country, so we make sure that we have the support of this because we are actually delivering on our commitment.
We apologize for the technical hiccup. Moving forward, Madam Monica Jagwela, First Lady of the Republic of Malawi, has been invited to attend the Peace Summit 2023 in South Korea as a guest of honor and keynote speaker. The summit, which runs from May 2nd to 6th, flagship program of the Universal Peace Federation, will focus on the theme of contemporary challenges to global order towards a world culture of peace. Charity Chiranga reading this report.
In her address, the First Lady will join high-level leaders from more than 150 countries, including heads of state and government, parliamentarians, government ministers, religious leaders, media professionals, business leaders, and academicians to offer recommendations related to solving contemporary challenges to the global order. Madame Chekwero's attendance at the summit underscores Malawi's commitment to promoting peace, security, and stability on the international stage. The Universal Peace Federation works collaboratively across all sectors of society to resolve conflicts and reconcile the divided human family, and the First Lady's participation in this global event underscores the importance of this work. In 2022, Madame Chekwera attended the similar summit virtually due to COVID-19 restrictions, but this year, she will have the opportunity to address the participants in person. Her attendance at the Peace Summit 2023 highlights the growing awareness among opinion leaders throughout the world of the urgent need for innovative vision and bold leadership to resolve the critical issues of our time.
You're still watching news on Luntha Television, but before we proceed, let's take another look at our top stories. Pope Francis urges Hungarians to open doors for the needy. President Jagwela advocates for contact and dialogue between employers and employees. Street vendors in Lilongwe express concern over City Council's plan to remove them out of the roads. And elsewhere, South Africans evacuated from Sudan stuck in Egypt. Proceeding with our news, people doing various businesses along the roads in the town of the capital city of Lilongwe have said it is sad that the council is going to be removing them in the roads which they say they conduct their businesses. They say the council has come with the development wrongly as it has not provided a place for them to be doing their businesses, looking at the fact that the current designated markets are already full. The council released a public notice on Friday, the 28th of April 2023, urging the public to stop buying goods from vendors doing businesses in undesignated places, as the act is an offense. Our reporter Jacqueline Saidi met some of the vendors and she reports.
The Lilongwe City Council officials announced last week in a statement that they released that they are going to remove all the people that are doing street vending in the city of Lilongwe. Talking to some people who do these businesses, they have said it would have been better if the council designated a place for them to be doing these businesses, as some of them are responsible for a lot of people. Here are some of the things that these people say.
I'm concerned as I'm one of the people that displays my goods on the street just along the main road here in town. My worry is that they are planning on chasing us out, but they have not identified any place for us to be conducting our business. If they had designated a place for us to go, it would have been better. What I can say here is that some of us survive on this business. We are feeding and even paying fees for our children through street vending, and if they are going to chase us, they better find a place for us.
What I can say is, the council is just supposed to provide a proper structure of how people should be conducting business along the roads. If others do not follow that structure, they should then be removing them. Otherwise, the exercise they are planning to conduct is not going to work.
From tomorrow, the 2nd of May, the council officials have said they are going to send people who are going to be confiscating all the goods that are going to be displayed outside shops. For Luntha Television News, you have been with me, Jacqueline Said.
Permaculture Paradise Institute, a social enterprise, demonstration and training center that promotes permaculture systems in Malawi, in partnership with So Powerful Foundation, has handed over a solar world project to Million Village Traditional Authority Kawere in Mchinji district. The institute's founding director, Luayo Bizwick, told journalists on Friday that the project will provide quality water to communities surrounding the village. He further said 165 families and about 800 individuals are expected to benefit from the project, and that farmers will grow a diverse range of food. More in this report being read by Vincent Kwakwala.
According to Bizwick, it is his wish to promote and uplift the welfare of the vulnerable. He said the solar pump will help farmers establish 165 food forests or gardens to address hunger issues in Million Village and surrounding areas. Bizwick noted that at first, access to clean water was a big challenge since there were 6 taps and 1 borehole which were used by 5 villages. He went on to say that they thought of changing the hand pump and put submersive pump, which is solar powered, to ease the work that farmers and people from these villages were struggling with. He said they thought it wise to help the farmers to bring water to their disposal and ease the energy. Now farmers and people from the 5 villages have access to clean water for domestic use and irrigation.
This project is going to help the farmers and the communities in 2 ways. We are targeting water and sanitation for domestic use as well as agriculture. So in agriculture, the farmers are encouraged to establish home gardens as well as tree nurseries from where they'll be getting their seedlings to plant the trees in the gardens.
One of the beneficiaries, Genlazo Maliko from Mlungucha village, said the challenges of access to clean water were numerous, giving an example of how they used to walk long distances just to access water from single water source.
We used to face so many challenges just to access water. There is only 1 borehole in this community, and the coming in of these taps, our lives will change.
Expressing his gratitude, T.A. Kawere thanked the Permaculture Paradiso Institute for coming up to their aid and addressing the water challenge. He said farmers will now be able to grow a diverse range of food with little energy on irrigation. The solar water pump project cost approximately $300,000.
The Malawi policy dialogue that Food Agriculture Organization conducted with agriculture stakeholders in Balaka district has established the need to invest in research as it is one of the key functions in improving the agriculture sector. During the dialogue, which had members of civil society organizations, farmers, policymakers and other important stakeholders in Balaka district, Frankie Chua, a senior lecturer in rural development and extension at Luana, said the sector is facing complex challenges, with the recent Cyclone Freddy being an example. He said to deal with such challenges, the fight must no longer be of one sector, but a group of experts and diverse actors from all sectors. Rashida Matandika reports from Balaka.
Despite being one of the important arms of the agriculture system, research is always facing challenges, which Frank Chua, a senior lecturer in rural development and extension at Luana, said must change. Chua said there are a number of issues that must be strengthened for the research function to be a success. He said stakeholders must support networking, which involves interactions of different actors, including researchers, support resource mobilization, knowledge management and communication, as every actor of the innovations has different knowledge to offer. Chua further said farmers should not be left behind during research, as they are part and parcel of the whole innovative system.
First is the issue of the farmers themselves being aware that they have this power to demand for services and demand for access to information. So they need to be aware. But being aware is not enough. They need to have the capacity to do so. So do the farmers have the capacity to demand, the power, the resources, and the ability to engage with these different actors who have information, and not also forgetting them, they also have the power to generate this knowledge.
Programs Manager for Machinga Agriculture Development Division, Adric Bernard, said Malawi, being an agri-based economy country, needs scientists and researchers, which government must take up the initiative.
This is a common problem across the board. The Malawi government should take that initiative to ensure that we support research activities, because the challenges are being faced across the board, be it Chitipa, be it elsewhere, be it in Mangochi. We are facing similar challenges. We need to come up with the technologies that will assist the farmers to ensure that they produce despite of the challenges that we are facing.
One of the farmers, Oris Chikwati, while commending FAO for the Mindset Opening Dialogue, said they are doing their best, demanding services from extension workers wherever it is needed.
We were told that we need to demand for information from the extension workers, and so we understand that if we don't ask for the information that we need, they will not come to us, and they might not even do their work.
Through the Ministry of Agriculture, with funding from European Union, FAO is implementing a TAP AIS project aimed at strengthening capacity research in developing, testing and adapting novel solutions for improving the context of agriculture innovative systems, AIS. Rashida Matandika, Luntha TV, Balaka.
The Ministry of Health is set to start administering the first ever typhoid vaccine from May 15th to 19th this year. According to the Deputy Director of Preventive Health in the Ministry of Health, Mavuto Tomasi, the typhoid vaccine will see children getting the jab, which will be administered with vitamin A supplements to protect them against the disease. The integrated immunization campaign against typhoid, which targets children from 9 months to 15 years of age, will be officially launched on the 12th of May at Mkonde Primary School ground in Balaka district. More in this report.
According to the Ministry of Health, they expect parents and guardians to allow their children receive the vaccine, which is showing an efficacy rate of more than 80% in protecting children against the disease. Speaking in an interview with Luntha Tv, Director of Preventive Health Mavuto Thomas said just like most vaccines, the typhoid vaccine targets children as they are vulnerable to a lot of infectious diseases. Thomas stated that it has been proven that this vaccine will minimize chances of underdiagnosing typhoid and avoid unnecessary complications and death, as a single dose of typhoid conjugate vaccine is safe and 84% effective. Typhoid fever is a preventable disease that has been a significant public health issue across Africa for about a decade, with an estimated 1.2 million cases and 900,000 deaths annually. However, previous typhoid vaccines were not widely used, largely due to age restrictions and the need for repeated doses. The new typhoid conjugate vaccine raises hope that thousands of children who die from the disease each year can be saved, and will also aim to protect children against measles and rubella. The ministry has urged parents and guardians to take their children to the designated vaccination centers to receive the life-saving typhoid vaccine. For Luntha Tv News, this is Jacqueline Saidi.
And finally, in international news, the process of evacuating South African citizens from war-torn Sudan is far from over, as 22 South Africans who were evacuated in Sudan are still trapped in Egypt. Gift of givers say citizens have been waiting in Egypt for clearance for the past 3 days, and over the weekend, South Africa welcomed 2 groups of evacuees at the OR Tambo International Airport. They were taken from Sudan to Egypt, after which they traveled to Kenya. We have an SABC report being read by Charity Jiranga.
The conflict between Sudan's army and the paramilitary group Rapid Support Forces has triggered a rush among countries to evacuate their diplomats and citizens. More than 500 people have been killed and nearly 4,200 others wounded in the fighting. Gift of the Givers founder M.Sh. Suleiman has said work is currently underway to get the South Africans safely back home. According to Suleiman, Gift of the Givers received a call from 2 South Africans caught up in Egypt, saying they went by boat from Port Sudan to be hired by a company called Ambri, where the boat was chartered by the company that had employed the South Africans for a project that started in September last year in Port Sudan and had just 2 more weeks of completion of the project before the war started. Reports indicated that they have been waiting in that boat in Egypt for the past 3 days, so that they can get clearance so they can catch their flight from Cairo to South Africa. Unfortunately, they have had to postpone their flight for the last 2 to 3 days. According to Suleiman, they are busy forwarding the information to DICO to have the situation dissolved.
Well, with that, we have come to the end of today's bulletin, but before we go, let's take another look at our top stories. Pope Francis urges Hungarians to open doors for the needy. President Chakwera advocates for contact and dialogue between employers and employees. Street vendors in Lilongwe express concern over City Council's plan to remove them out of the roads. And elsewhere, South Africans evacuated from Sudan stuck in Egypt. That's all we had for you. Thank you for choosing Luntha Television. But before we go, another quick reminder. The Ministry of Health from the 15th to the 19th of May, they will start administering the first ever typhoid vaccine to children of between 9 months and 15 years of age. So please, parents and guardians, let your children get this jab. Thank you so much. This has been Bridget Manoka. Stay blessed.